I would like to tell you about another building. It's the by-the-way house whose history started in 2008 when I arrived at the plot of our client. It was magnificent, a fantastic place with a beach by the river. It was foggy then, and it seemed to me there was nothing around. Above there was an old orchard, and I learned that there had used to be an old house. Then we went to his apartment, with the view of the same river, where he started outlining a plan of his future house. This is what it looked like. I realized that he was designing the apartment where we were sitting then and told him that. He said, "Yes, because I like it here." I said, "Okay, but maybe it could be done in a better way." He answered, "Maybe, but I don't want to risk." He also added that he would like to put a daytime space on the first floor to feel safer there. I asked if it is okay with him to be separated from the garden. He said yes. It got worse. He showed me a catalogue with some terrible examples of architecture saying that this house should look like this. I replied, "Patrick, I guess it's not a task for us. Anybody can redesign it for you. It would be overpaid if we did it. No, Robert, I want you to do it and make it look like this." Okay, so we decided to phase this project up. The scheme depicts his wish, a new house in the place of the old one which is far away from the street, a house with a pier for his boat at the beach. We prepared 2 or 3 alternative ideas which solved the problem of the detached garden. He rejected all of them, saying that what he designed was the best. We could either step back or face up to his wishes. We found the idea. We thought, since we have to plan a driveway to the house anyway, let's wrap this ugly building, which is disconnected from the garden, with a way. Then let's lead the way from the first floor down to the garden and lower to the beach itself. Basically, the design was ready. The wrapped part makes ceilings, the roof and the walls, and in the middle his perfect functional structure remains. We have one motive that creates the whole building, the by-the-way house. The path runs through an old orchard waving between the trees and arrives at the house. It wraps around the first floor, expanding upwards and downwards towards the view. Underneath, there are ground floor rooms. Then the path unwinds and becomes an elevated catwalk connecting the level of the first floor with the level of the garden and carries on through the trees and along a steep bank towards the river. Looking at the situation plan, it may come apparent that the pier is no longer there. We deleted it as we thought it could be used by anyone and someone could get to the house this way. Take a look at the main level of the house, at the floor plan. The winding band opens out onto the river bank. We thought about splitting the band and allow for views of the sides, but the client claimed it would destroy his sense of privacy. Below on the ground floor, there are extra rooms such as a garage, a gym and guest rooms. Due to the fact that they are under the cocooned band, they can be surrounded with glass, providing a perfect connection with the garden. When the construction started, we thought it would be enough to watch it out, but a basic problem appeared. Our client decided that he would build the house without the path. Additionally, he wanted to cover the roof with black tar paper instead of light membrane because nobody could see it. Taking him to one of the nearby hills, we showed him that the house also has the 5th elevation, and we didn't hide all the intakes and outlets with the greenery only to spoil it after. Fortunately, we convinced him. Here is the picture of the building. Everything is made of light concrete, material typical of roads, except the roof, made of light membrane. Pictures taken from a plane show the band winding through a vast area. It may seem that there are no neighbors around, but when we look at it from a nearby hill, it turns out that the river banks are developed, and the house is just one of the elements of the landscape. When we get to the level of the path, we can see the place where the path pulls away from the ground and winds through the daytime space. It seems that the ground floor is beside the building. This evening shot shows the whole structure of the building. Internal walls are made of wood, contrasting with light concrete to bring the band out. The rising path makes a wall and roof, which marks the entry area and it ensures protection from rain and strong winds from the west. Eastern view. The ground floor connected to the garden. Gradation of the band shows the side of the view. The same thing occurs from the western side, but you can see that there is a part of the band which connects the floor with garden. Being in the garden, we are surrounded with greenery which limits the view. However, when we go up, the situation changes. There is a perfect view of the river when we get to the first floor because we are above the treetops. There's the space formed by the band. Beyond there is a bathroom which is separated from the bedroom with a wooden partition. Look, the wall, which is a part of the band, was used to build a wardrobe so that the structure of the building isn't violated. It's minimalistic. The view is most important. On the ground floor, we can see particular parts of the space separated with wooden partitions, and because it's below the band, surrounded by glass, thanks to which we are connected with the garden. However, when we go upstairs to the first floor, we can admire a fantastic view. Here is the band at its highest point. Fault lines in the ceiling resulting from the faulted band are used to hide lighting, ventilation holes and air conditioning. Interestingly, our client asked for the interiors you can see here. He simply didn't like the ones he asked for at the beginning anymore. Let's go down a catwalk which smoothly leads us to the garden. Pay attention to the place where the catwalk connects with the ground. Here it turns into a path matching to the area topography. It's similar to the driveway, but due to the high slope of the ground, it's made of rough concrete to make it more comfortable to walk on it. The path winding between the trees leads us to the river and the beach. When we stop and look at the house, we can only see the first floor, but we can't see the ground floor as it is hidden behind the trees. We arrive at the conclusion that thanks to what used to seem as a ridiculous client's wish, we obtain a much better view. We wouldn't get it if we had followed a standard path. Thanks to the idea of the building, we managed to connect the day space with the garden at the same time and develop it further. That's the story of our cooperation, through which each part gained something new and the by-the-way house was created.